Magandang kamalayan sa inyo lahat. Magandang kamalayan at nandito na naman tayo sa ating klase, sa ating class, Kamalayan Learning Alternative Success System at ako po ang inyong guro, Tato Malay. At dito nga, dito sa ating klase ay tayo ay nagko-conduct ng mga I would say unusual classes which are not being learned in schools or in any university for that matter. Dahil very much updated ang ating mga tinuturo dito, mga latest, mga bagay na wala pa sa mga curriculum ng mga eskwelahan. Kaya dito sa Kamalayan Lifelong Learning Online, ating bagong eskwelahan na tinatawag Kamalayan Lifelong Learning Online. At tayo ay magkakaroon ng mga magagandang topics kung saan ay makikita natin ang buhay na kailangan nating maisagawa o ano pa ang tawag doon yung mai-project natin because when you go to school, I mean you're supposed to be preparing for your future. But the problem now is ano ba ang future ngayon? Nandito tayo ngayon sa pandemic, tumigil lahat at mukhang lahat ay nagkaroon ng parang standstill, no? So kung saan ay dati ay meron tayong mga ay ngayon ay lahat very unsure na ngayon ang nangyayari. So even for that matter mga jobs na dapat natin pinagkakakitaan ay somehow wala walang assurance na magagawa pa rin natin 'yan or for that matter we will still be able to uh, get our positions or yung mga pinagtatrabaho natin somehow parang nagre-retrench, mawawala ang kumpanya. So ang tanong nga dyan ngayon is what are we preparing our kids for? I mean, what kind of lessons are we giving them to prepare them for the future? Ano ba ang future na nakikita natin? And ang sinasabi ko nga dito sa title natin ngayon, we are not going to have a new normal, but we are going to have a new reality. Wala na yung new normal because a new normal, ang ibig sabihin yan, may normal pa rin. Wala na magiging normal sa panahon na ito because everything will be changing fast. So, ang tanong dyan is, what is going to be our reality? Yan ang ating pag-uusapan ngayon because people don't know exactly what's going to happen. Kami, sa Kamalayan, with some people who are in the same line as what I do, we know already what the future is like. Kaya lang, ito ay hindi ka tanggap-tanggap ng karamihan right now. No? Sinasabi nila para ano yung sinasabi mo, parang hindi naman totoo yan. But this is something that we cannot anymore ignore. We cannot anymore say we are not going to make this happen because definitely we have now to find the truth in what we are now supposed to be doing and in terms of what or who are we or who we are supposed to be as well. So yan ang ating pag-uusapan ngayon. At before we do that, I'd like to say I'd like to greet some friends from Atel Visconde. Hello, si Atel ay matagal ko ng kaibigan, kapatid ito ng aking very close friend, si Abeth. And Veronica Garcia, hello. Thank you for watching. At hinihintay pa natin or hihintay pa ba at hinihintay pa natin or hihintay pa ba natin yung iba or we'll just proceed with our lesson for today. Um, I look good in somehow I look good in Facebook in my camera pero dito sa YouTube para bang ewan ko. Anyway, uh, Ito lang siguro yung monitor ko ang medyo may problema. No? Pero pag nagpi-playback naman ako, mukhang everything is fine. Ato, can you give me a feedback? Are you hearing me? I mean, is my voice very clear? Is my audio very loud? At yan ang aking gusto munang malaman dahil importante yan dahil sa pag-uusapan natin ngayon. And eto nga, etong pag-uusapan natin ngayon, as I've said, we are not anymore going to have a new normal, but a reality. And that kind of a reality that we are seeing is so different from the ones we used to have. Kumbaga, eto na yung nakaraan, natapos na. And somehow parang hindi na natin pwedeng balikan itong pinagagawa natin noon. No? So, ayan ang aking nais pag-usapan ngayon. So, what is this new reality? And first is we have to now accept the fact that we are really spiritual beings having a human experience. Hindi tayo tao lamang. Hindi tayo human beings lamang. We have I would say, a different kind of, ano tawag dito, yung pagkatao natin, yung nilalang tayo rito, nung pinanganak tayo rito, basically we had a physical body, but more than just a physical body, we had a spiritual body, we had a soul. And somehow, yun ang hindi nabigyan ng pansin sa ating buhay. Yung how that soul actually is living, or well, more or less, um, parang ito ang talagang nagbibigay sa atin ng direksyon. Kaya tayo nagkakaproblema because we are not doing exactly what the soul wants us to be doing. Because basically, it was our soul that came back to live in this world, in this earth. Hindi naman tayo nagkaroon ng, I would say, parang tsamba lang na pinanganak tayo rito na without any purpose. No? We came here because we wanted to do something. Just, not we, but our soul, basically. So, kung hindi nyo naintindihan itong sinasabi ko, well, I am dealing with reincarnation. But anyway, so let's just deal first with the usual uh, personality that we know of, or the kind of person that we are. And tingnan natin kung hanggang saan natin kaya dalhin itong buhay natin as a human being. Nagkaroon tayo ng um, atong standstill or with this virus, no? Para lang tumigil lahat ng ginagawa natin because we were not anymore aligned with our original agenda. At ang nangyari is, yun na nga, talagang ginulo natin ang buhay natin dito. We were so unhappy. And ito na yung pinagkalagyan na natin ngayon. Pinagkalagyan natin. Ayan, or where we are now. All right. So, let's proceed. All right. Alam nyo, dito sa ating pinag-uusapan last week, I talked about what do we have to be able to do the things we're supposed to be doing. And sabi nga nila, did I come here because I have a purpose? No. Ang purpose is basically who we are in terms of what we want to give meaning to ourselves. That is our purpose. Hindi yung hahanapin mo yung purpose mo sa labas. Kung ano yung gusto mong gawin, ano yung gusto mong bigay na dahilan, that's your purpose. Yun lang yun. But then again, how would you know now that what you're doing is something that you have to be doing? Is there a destiny? Is there something na yung parang tawag dito yung ultimate goal natin na para tayo maging masaya sa buhay natin. Wala rin. Now, the thing here is we came here to enjoy life on earth as a human being, as a spirit at the same time. As a human being, we have our body, and since we have our body, we have our five senses. We can enjoy our sense of taste, smell, hearing, seeing, touching. So basically, yan ang ating mga bagay na pwede natin gamitin to enjoy life on earth. But how do we really enjoy life on earth? Ano ba? Magpapakasasa tayo, kakain tayo ng marami para ma-enjoy. Ha? Uh, Tawag dito, we will accumulate all the material things that we can have so that we can just say na we're enjoying life here on earth as in enjoying all the material things or baka naman iba. And that is exactly what we did. That's why nagulo nga yung nating buhay. Because basically, we focused on that. And somehow, our soul said, enough. Ah, parang sinabi, parang, teka muna, why are you now not anymore giving importance to other matters of higher, uh, in terms of our higher, um, I would say, ano bang tawag doon? Higher self. Yeah. Kasi in our consciousness, in levels of consciousness natin, yung pinakamababang level, yun ang ating inatupag eh. Yun ang ating binigyan ng importansya. And dun sa susunod na next level, yung pataas, dun wala tayo. And so dun tayo nagkaroon ng malaking problema because we never really paid attention to our higher self. Because we enjoyed life in terms of what we had or what we are having right now in terms of material things. Uh, Kaya, yeah, yun ang um, problema. All right. So, ang, ang nangyari dito sa 2020, there is now a realization here. There is this change that is now happening. Nagbabago na lahat. I mean, tumigil nga ang lahat, pero ibig sabihin yan, hindi tumigil na wala naman nangyayari. Ang dami nangyayari. And there is this change that is happening so fast. There is this shift. Uh, Shift in our priorities, shift in our way of thinking, shift in our uh, consciousness. So, yan ang tanong ngayon. Ano ang kailangan natin ma-realize first before we discuss other matters here for today? Itong 2020 nga, made us realize that there is something more important than what we had done during the past 50 or 100 years. Kumbaga parang tapos na yon. So we now have to now elevate ourselves. Kasi, oo, tama naman yon na enjoy natin. Pero at the expense of Mother Nature, our Earth, and even ourselves, our body, nawala yung balance natin. So basically, doon tayo nagka-problema na malaki. Okay. So, yun na nga, we have to now change our perception of our reality. Ano ba ang perception natin ng reality natin dati? Hindi na nga. Magpaka, mag-aral na mabuti, magkaroon ng magandang trabaho para kumita ng maraming pera, para mabili lahat ng gusto natin mabili, at ma-enjoy ang, wow, ito lang ba yun? Parang wala. Parang walang katuturan. Parang, alright. So, ang tanong ngayon dyan is, what can we now do? So, ito na ngayon ang gagawin natin. So, sa mga hindi nagkaroon ng magandang resulta sa mga ninanais nila na mangyari sa buhay nila, huwag kayong mag-alala. You have another chance. And this chance is something that we can now, uh, I would say, start again. Meron tayong tinatawag na rebooting. Ito na, para sa computer, i-reboot natin ang sarili natin. For our friends, for that matter, kung ano yung nangyayari sa buhay natin, mga office mates natin, walang kinalaman sila sa nangyari sa atin. We basically have our own, I would say, contribution to what happened to us. Tayo ang may responsibility dyan. And so, eto ngayon ang tanong. Alright? The question here is, what can we now see in us that we have to change? Dito natin makikita ngayon. We were not so happy with it. We got sick. We actually siguro not, uh, we were not fulfilled with what we were doing. So, ang tanong dyan is, bakit mo pa gustong gawin itong mga bagay nito? So, ang tanong ngayon sa iyo, kung eto na yung chance mo ngayon, what would you want to do now? What is it that you basically would want to start doing? Yung bago na, wag na yung dati. Wala na yung dati. Una-una, hindi ka naman masaya doon. So, why would you want it back? So now, there is now something that you have to now take a look into. Ano yung gusto mo ngayon gawin? So, again, as I've said, we have now to see ourselves in a new way of seeing ourselves. Hello, Mines. Hi, andyan na si Mines. Akala ko absent to. Hello. At si Ana Santos is watching as well. Okay, ang tanong dyan is, why are we now, uh, what are we now supposed to do with ourselves? How are we going to take a look as to who we are? Marami na tayong pinag-usapan nito in the past, but I have to keep on reminding you because a lot of times you keep on forgetting. People are always looking for akyatin. Anyway, so that's exactly the problem of many of us. Now, the thing here is, how do you now look for your passion? As I've said, you don't start with passion at once. You start with enthusiasm. Number one, enthusiasm. What are you enthusiastic about? I would say observations as to what you were enthusiastic with. Because enthusiasm, the root word of enthusiasm is entheos. Entheos. Ito nakasulat sa t-shirt ko. Entheos. E-N-T-H-E-O-S. Ang ibig sabihin yan, God within. So, ibig sabihin yan, it is God telling you, yes, that's for you. Go for that. Yan ang hindi natin pinansin nung tayo ay lumalaki. Or when we were growing up. We ignored those things. But those were actually the things that the universe was telling us na ito ang magiging kwad mo. Kumbaga, ito ang pwede mong gawin o tatahakin mo. Ito ang gawin mong mga bagay. Pwede kang kumita rito or pwede mo talagang lang enjoy yan, no? For that matter. So, yan ang importante. What are you enthusiastic with? And later on, ito yan eh. Just go on with all those. List them up. List them all. Yung mga, kung ano yung mga you're enthusiastic with. When, for example, you want to play an instrument or you want to cook or you want to be an artist, paint, or you want to be a dancer or you want to be a singer. So what are you enthusiastic with? Lahat yan, gawin mo lahat. Walang bawal ngayon. Start as a hobby. Gawin mo as a hobby para, parang subukan mo lang kung talagang gusto mo yan. And that's it. The moment you are now enjoying it, now you go now to the next level. If you're now excited about it every day, yan na, may excitement ka na. Kasi yung enthusiasm mo that establishes exactly what you want to do. Importante yon. Enthusiastic ka ba sa mga bagay na gagawin mo? Now, napili mo na yung mga bagay-bagay na gusto mong guide na sa ating mga extraterrestrial friends. I've been studying exactly. They've been giving us tips, lessons, because they've done what we were in the past. They are now considered as higher evolved beings. Mas mataas na yung kinalalagyan nila, mas mataas na yung kamalayan nila. And somehow, sabi nga nila, kayo, bata pa kayo, you're just starting, but we want you to start on the right foot. And so, they're giving us the kind of tips. And sabi nga ni si Bashar, basically, he enumerated in one of his lectures, element. Yeah, yan yung importante. Kasi talong tayo na talong. I'm passionate din sa alam mo lang. Yung pala hindi. Kasi hindi ka dumaan sa proseso. Ngayon, tinuturo ko ngayon, may proseso pala. Ha? Number one element, act on your highest excitement. Ano na yung talaga napili mo na ito na yung gusto mo talagang gawin? Ano na yung na-decide mo? Na dito ka na talaga, buong-buo na yung loob mo rito and excited na excited ka na rito. Every time you do it, talagang focus mo ay ganun na. So, are you now, will you now mag-aaral ka? You take voice lessons. You take it on the next level. Ha? Hindi pwedeng sasabihin mo, magaling na ako kumanta eh. Hindi totoo yun. You have to now develop it. And, you have to take it to, to the best that you can, to the best ability that you can have. Yan ang importante. Before I continue, I'd like to say hi to, Gerard Reyes, Avantgarde Walsh. Yan ang pangalan niya sa Facebook. Nathan Dangju is also watching. Okay, so mine is still there. Okay, so tuloy-tuloy tayo rito. And so, ano na, second step tayo, take it to the next level. So, talaga kailangan i-develop mo na yan. Mag-aaral ka. Yung oras, araw-araw yan. Hindi pwedeng kung kailan mo lang gusto. Yun lang. Dapat yan everyday, you're doing something to improve on what you are doing. And the third one is, all right, you are now on that level of really developing it. So, pinagtitiisan mo na ito. What do you mean by pinagtitiisan mo is, talaga binibigyan mo na ng oras. Lahat-lahat yan. Dapat, number 3 na element is, you don't have, or you actually have zero expectations on what you will actually be experiencing. Zero assumptions on what is going to happen. Kasi dine-develop mo nga, no? Ginagawa mo na yung paraan na parang gumaling ka ng husto. Pero, since, nakita mo, magaling ka na, don't ever expect anything yet. Wala kang expectations, just do it pa rin. Hindi yung sasabihin mo, magaling na ako, pwede na ito. Hindi, wala ganyan. Wala kang expectations, just continue with what you're doing. Kung nadi-discourage ka, still, wala ka dapat expectations, don't be discouraged. Do not be disappointed at this point in time. Zero ang expectations mo dapat. Just do it. Kasi talagang, tataan yan eh. May duda lang, may magkakaroon ka na ng doubts na para bang, ano ba talaga? Ito ba talaga gusto ko? Para bang ayaw ko na yata ito. But anyway, dumating ka na doon sa level na yun eh. Sa second level. So, dinaas mo na. Doon sa third level, erase first all your doubts. Zero expectations, zero assumption on what is happening. Huwag kang magbibigay ng any judgment. Sabi nga, bawal maging judgmental at this point in time. All right. And then the next one, number 4 is, since hindi mo na alam kung ano nangyayari, but you just continue doing it, nandun pa lang. Kasi ito yung elements of excitement. And number 4 is, be positive. Hindi pwedeng maging negative ka na ngayon. Basta continue ka lang palagi. Sige, tuloy ko to. Decidido na ako dito. whatever happens, I am going to just do it. Continue being positive. So fourth level yan. Fourth element of excitement. And, yun na nga, pag ito, nalagpasan mo na yon, being positive, yung ganyan na, wala ka expectations, at nandiyan ka pa rin, that means, eto na yon, ready ka na for the next level. Ito kasi yung four elements yun, yung pinakamababa eh. So pag nalagpasan mo na yan, dumating ka na doon sa wala ng judgment at ginagawa mo pa rin dahil gusto mo. Ha? Kumbaga, ito lang yung nangyari sa, okay, kung marunong ka mag-drive ng kotse, nag, pag pinasok mo yung susi mo sa ignition at in-start mo, kung minsan yung baterya, hindi naman kaagad nag-start eh. Di ba? Ganyan ang, I'm just making analogy here. Start mo ganyan, gumagano pa yun eh. Para bang ayaw dumiretso eh. So, start mo ulit. So, in other words, ito na yan. So, still, wala kang expectation. So, hindi mo sinasabing, ay, wala na, hindi na under to. Ang sinasabi mo lang is, hindi, under to. Pero, wala kang iniisip na may sira or whatever. And then, you're positive. Ha? Tuloy-tuloy po pa rin. Pag click mo ulit ganyan, biglang umandar. Yan, nandun ka na sa fifth level. Ano yung fifth level? What you had been doing or your life had become already a driving engine. Kumbaga, eto na yun, umaandar na yung makina mo. Umaandar na. Ha? Kasi nga, ito yung, ayaw nyo maniwala kasi kala nyo madali yung passion or excitement or enthusiasm. Kala nyo ganun lang yan. But basically, meron proseso ito. So ngayon, pag nandun ka na sa level na umabot ka na kasi doon eh. Dami mo na in-invest din. Nag-invest ka ng time, nag-invest ka na ng oras, ng rito, ng pera kasi nag-aaral ka nga. Di ba kung nag-aaral ka kumanta, di nag-enroll ka nga sa isang voice teacher, whatever, o isang music school. So ito na yung nangyari sa buhay mo. Nandun ka na sa umaandar na. Okay. Accepted na yung ginagawa mo. Para bang tuloy-tuloy na. Alright. So ito na ngayon. Na-start mo na yung engine. So yung energy, nandyan na. Sabi nga ni Minds, third element of excitement, no expectation and do not quit. Stay positive. Number 4. Tama. Ito na nga, yung number 5 is your life becomes a driving engine. Kumbaga, umandar na yung makina, tuloy-tuloy na, maandar na sa sarili mong makina, sa kalooban mo, yung mga balak mong ginagawa. And dito na, eto na yung sinasabi natin, that energy now, that you are now calling is what passion is all about. Diyan pa lang lumalabas na that you are now making a this passion thing happen na. You're passionate about it na. Tuloy-tuloy na. Kasi parang nalagpasan mo na yung maantar na yung makina natin. Tuloy-tuloy na yung takbo ng kotse. Maantar na. Tapos, along the way, parang bang, ang dami ko nakikita parang ang ganda. Parang tsumachamba. O parang bang, I'm so lucky. I'm having all these reactions or these experiences. Parang ganyan. So, synchronicity is happening now. Because of what you are now doing. You are now seeing things that are happening in your life na maganda. And this is the principle of synchronicity that is now appearing in your, at this stage. Remember, passionate tayo. So somehow parang tuloy-tuloy na yan. And nakita mo ngayon, ganda pala. Okay. And somehow many things are happening already na akala mo ay tsamba o swerte, pero hindi. Synchronicity na yan, nilatawag na yan. Walang swerte sa kamalayan. When you say synchronicity, talaga na-attract mo yan. So, ang ganda na ng takbo ngayon. So, we now go to the seventh. We are now cruising in this path of least resistance. So, ang sarap. Di ba? Parang wow, sarap talaga. Walang traffic, walang detour, walang ano. So, nag-enjoy ka na doon sa ginagawa mo. Ayan na yun eh. So, if you're already on that level, that means okay ka na. Ha? Pero again, nasa seventh level ka, seventh element ka pa lang. And the eighth one is the path of connection. Dito mo na makikita. Di ba yung isa, synchronicity. So, nangyayari, mga bagay-bagay na hindi mo inaasahan, pero para akala mo swerte lang. Tapos mamaya, nakita mo na rito, in the path of connection, ang dami mo na nakikita opportunities. May nakikilala ka na taong konektado sa ginagawa mo, and somehow the opportunities are arising. No? They're all interconnected. So makikita mo na yan. Dikit-dikit na yan. And that's how it happens when you're passionate already about something. Ha? Ito yung, I'm talking from experience. Ha? I'm not teaching something na hindi ko nagawa. That's why I'm sharing this because totoo itong principles na ito. Ito yung itong elements na ito. And so ito na yun. So, konektado na. You can see now the connection of the things that you are doing. Ha? Sa mga bagay-bagay, akala mo hindi interrelated, pero basically, they're all interconnected. So, ito na. Nag-enjoy ka na. And then, ito na. Number 8. I'm sorry, number 9. The path of support. Ano ito path of support? You get now support from everywhere. Kasi nga, enjoy ka na sa ginagawa mo. People now are really seeing you on a different light. In a different light. At ito na yun, when you are now on the path of support. Remember, we talked about abundance and the forms of abundance. And on there, you can exchange your talent for money or whatever. Kami nga ni Freddie Aguilar noon, during that time when Freddie was just starting. Sikat na si Freddie noon. Hindi pa ganun kasikat, pero sikat na siya. Sikat na yung kanta niya. At one time, gusto namin kumain sa labas. Basta punta tayo sa isang lugar, punta tayo sa isang restaurant. And then, wala kaming pera ha. Wala kaming ino-order kasi wala kaming pambabayad eh. Sabi ko, Freddy, diyan ka lang. Huwag kang, mamaya lumapit na yung waiter. Sir, uy, Freddy Aguilar pala kasama niyo. Oh. Tinawag yung boss. Ay, nandiyan pala si Freddy. Oh, okay. Tapos, di kuwan na kami. Hello, hello, hello. Hindi kami, tumitingin na kami sa menu pero hindi kami mo-order. Ay, ganun na kami. Mamaya, eto na. Meron na mga dumarating na pagkain sa amin. On the house daw, sabi ng may-ari. Oh, sabi namin, oy, thank you, thank you. Walang problema pala dito, no, ha? Talagang mabait ang mga tao rito, sabi namin. Anyway, so, eto na ngayon, dumarating yung pagkain. Kain kami ni Freddy. Siyempre, may kapalit. Ito ngayon, trade. So, sabi ko, Freddy, obligado ka kumanta. Dalawa lang, o kahit isa o dalawa, basta kumanta ka, hindi pwede hindi tayo kakanta, hindi ka kakanta rito. Ngayon naman pinunta natin dito, di ba gusto natin kumain ng libre, gusto natin uminom, o di kanta ka. O ayun. Ayun ang trade na sinasabi ko rito sa form of abundance. If you have abundance, sometimes it comes in the form of trade. You exchange your talent for something else. And so somehow, ayun, nakakaraos kami. And the next form of abundance is, ano ba, we talked about money, we talked about trade, we talked about gifts, di ba? Yung regalo, ayun, katulad ng nangyari din sa amin. Actually, regalo yun. Kaya lang, we had to give back as well. So, para naging trade. Pero, it's a gift. It was a gift for us, to us, no? But instead, sabi nga namin, nakakahiya naman na wala kaming ibabalik dyan. So, we actually, I actually told Freddie to sing. Okay. All right. So, ano na ngayon? Susunod. So, ano pa, ano yung 5 forms of abundance natin? Trade, gifts, and then, the other one was, ako, ito na yun. Kalimutan ko na. I actually have that código of mine. Wala na naman. Ako talaga, Kapag, ayan. Alright. So, ano pa ba? Sino nakakaalala? Si Minds, hindi na naalala ni Minds. Anyway, so the next level of the um, ano, the next uh, form of abundance is synchronicity. Ayan, katulad ng binanggit natin kanina, synchronicity because everything will just happen na para bang akala mo swerte pero hindi. Nangyayari ang mga bagay-bagay, yung mga magagandang opportunities will just arrive or will just be there in front of us. And then the other one is imagination or inspiration. That's another form of abundance. Whatever you imagine, you create it. All right. So again, let's go back now to the element to, to the 11 to the elements 11 elements of excitement. So nandun na tayo sa number 9. Yun na nga. We talked about the path of support, and that's where abundance, the forms of abundance would come in. And then number 11, I'm sorry, number 10, the path of relevance. Path of relevance. Everything is now relevant in terms of what is going on in your life. Or kung hindi man relevant yan in some ways, para bang you can just maybe see it next time. Pero kung hindi pa ngayon, sa susunod, makikita mo yung how whatever is it that you are experiencing at this moment would become relevant still, no? Hindi pwede sasabihin mo na walang walang katuturan yan. May nangyari dyan. That's why it appeared in your life. Nothing appears in your life if you did not attract it or you did not create it. No? So it's still relevant. And then, all right, so that's being, in terms of being relevant at that same time, ang tanong mo nga is, ito bang ginagawa ko talagang relevant ba sa buhay ko ito? Well, yeah, that's another way of looking at it. So the path of relevance. So everything is there already. And passionate ka na talaga dito ha. I mean, sobra-sobra na. And somehow, nandun ka na dun sa level na talagang hindi ka na makaka-atras. And somehow you had established it in your life that this is exactly what you want. This is your passion. And then the last, this is your passion. And then the last one is called the reflective mirror. Reflective mirror. Merong mirror na haharap sa iyo, may salamin, na kung saan meron kang makikita mga hindi ka nais-nais, yung mga hindi maganda. Don't ever ignore them because these are all coming from you. These are all, kumbaga, important for you to be able to realize why you are seeing it at this point in time. Maybe there is this belief na lumalabas pa rin na hindi mo pa lang na-release noon. Na now, since you're already up there, tapos parang itong bagay na ito ay lumalabas, parang nagkakaroon ng problema. So you have to now be able to acknowledge that through that reflective mirror and be able to do something about that particular belief that had been cropping up. So, marami ka kasing issues, hindi naman lahat yan ma-address mo na o mawawala ka agad yan. And somehow, when you are already very successful, doon mo makikita yung mga hindi mo na i-process na mga beliefs mo, na mga issues mo in the past. Na kung saan ay, kaya karamihan dyan doon sila nasisira Doon nila, doon nila na, na, na ano na tawag ito, na-experience yung mga bagay na hindi na nila makontrol since they are on top already of what they're doing, they're on top of the world, akala nila, eh, hindi nila na nakita na meron pala tendency sila to be mataray, to be, lumaki yung ulo, ganyan, not to be humble. So all these issues, lumalabas ngayon. Ah, kasi nga, it will create all this particular thing in your, in your life, yung mirror na yan, ilalabas lahat yan. So, hindi pwede sasabihin mo na, na-cover up mo na yan just because you became successful in what you're doing. Somehow, kasi kadalasan dyan, ang mga tao, dati, nung walang pera, ang babait. Nung nagkapera, naging abusive. Yung iba, nung wala silang power, walang position, napaka-humble. Nung nagka-power, biglang abusado na. Yan ang mga lumabas na ito mga issues mo. So that reflective mirror, number 11, is something that is important. Para pag nakita mo lumalabas yan, that means you have to address them. Hindi pwede sasabihin mo na, wala na, sikat ako eh. And that will be your downfall. Alright. Alright. So, teka muna. Pag ito tinanggal ko kaya, baka mawala kasi. Pag, Charlie Ong, si Charlie. Kamusta ka na, Charlie? Kamusta na ang aking kaibigang napakagaling na photographer? Alright. Anak niya, one time, i-feature ko ulit sa aking programa. Magaling na composer, anak niya. 13 years old, bata-bata. Napaka-talented na composer. Alright, so, I hope malinaw, ito na-explain ko na yung 11, kasi nasabihin ko yung elements, the 11 elements of excitement and passion. So, ito ang importante na maintindihan natin as we go along searching for what we want to do. Kasi hindi na pwede natin gagawin yung dati natin ginagawa dahil gusto lang natin yumaman kaagad, gusto lang natin malaking pera, kaya natin ginagawa kahit hindi natin gusto. Ito na. Nag-stop lahat ng nangyayari sa buhay natin to be able to assess our lives now, to find out what we want to really now do. Ito na yung paraan as to how to really now assess as to what are the things now that we will choose. Na ito ang gagawin kong career or trabaho or business. Ito nga our new reality is going to happen not because of what the government will do for you or what other people will actually tell you that this is good for you. Ikaw ang magkikreate ngayon ng ano ang gusto mong gawin. Alright. So, ang tanong dyan is, gagawin ba ninyo to? Kasi, remember, we are now going to create our new reality. There is no new normal. We are creating now our new reality. And that new reality happens individually. We have our own reality, our own world to create. Hindi isang mundo. Kanya-kanya tayong mundo. Magkakaiba ang mundo natin. Di ba? Iba-iba naman ang hilig natin eh. Hindi naman pwede sabihin mo pare-pareho tayong lahat. Hindi. So, what we have now to really find out is what do I really want to do? What do I feel like doing? And remember, that enthusiasm is important. Hanapin mo muna yung mga bagay-bagay na hindi mo akala mo hindi importante, pero yun pala, gusto mo pala talaga siyang ma-experience. And remember, we're here not to earn money. We are here, money is just the result of what we want to do. Yan ang importante yung isipin natin. We are not here to get a lot of money or to create a lot of money. Money is important, but it is only going to be relevant if we are now living our lives beautifully. A balanced life. Alam yung life natin na kwan. Kasi nga, kaya nga natigilan ng buhay natin ngayon. We created this imbalance. We have to balance our life. How? There are four areas that we have to balance. Our health area. Kailangan yung kalusugan mo, healthy ka. Especially in this pandemic times, you have to keep yourself healthy. Pangalawa, your relationships, your love relationships with your family, friends, lahat yan. Whoever, relationship with God, relationship with animals, with your surroundings, you have to be able to be aware of your kind of relationships with everyone, with everything. And the third one is your wealth area, your career. Ano yung gusto mo talagang gawin? Ano yung trabaho mo na masasabi mo ito yung bagay na nakakapag-contribute ka at ito yung nakakatulong ka. At the same time, you're earning. Remember, people pay you because of your service. Hindi ka naman kumikita dahil wala kang ginagawa. Either you're selling a product or you're performing a service. Yun ang naman ang pinagkakitaan natin. Like si Charlie. Charlie earns because she's a good photographer. Di ba Charlie? Yeah. Tapos, yun na nga, hindi pwede tayong walang ino-offer, walang ginagawa. But ang kailangan dyan, yung ino-offer natin is something coming from our heart. Coming from our, I would say, cheerful heart. Yung masaya natin ginagawa. Hindi yung masama ang loob natin na ginagawa. Yung nakaraan na ginawa nating mga trabaho, yun ang masasabi natin, oo, medyo asiwa. Ang dami nating ginawa na hindi naman tayo masaya. Kaya we were not that productive. Kasi para bang, ito lang naman ang sinesweldo sa akin, bakit ako magpapakasasa? Bakit ako magpapakahirap? Liit ang sweldo ko rito. Bigyan nila ako malaki sweldo. Ganyan lang naging reaction ng karamihan. And somehow, parang, wow, okay. So, buti nga ba? Tinanggap ka sa trabaho eh. Oh. Hindi mo na-realize na ikaw ang nagbibigay ng limitasyon sa pwede mong kitain. Dahil nga, gusto mo muna, unahan ka, nabigyan ka ng malaki sweldo bago mo ibigay yung pwede mo ibigay. Paano ka bibigyan ng mas malaki kung hindi ka man nakikita na, na, na meron ka namang kinocontribute na mas mahalaga pa. Alright, sabi ni Nellen Herrera, there are four dimensions which we have to balance to have the peace of mind. We have to create. We like to create. Spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical. Yes, spiritual, but basically nga, ang kwan ito is, in practical terms, everything naman kasi is spiritual eh. Everything is mental in what you're doing. Everything is emotional. Kasi yan ang buong pagkatao natin. But the four areas, yun ang kailangan natin i-balance. Yung four areas na yun. You cannot say, I am wealthy, pero I am sick. Ang dami kong pera, pero wala eh. Yung pera ko pang gastos ko lang sa ospital ko. Is that a balanced person? Is that a spiritual person? You are not a spiritual person. Ito yun the definition of a spiritual person is someone who is balanced, who is living a balanced life or in those four areas. That is the meaning, that is the definition of who a spiritual person is. That's why you cannot say a religious person would claim na simba naman ako ng simba eh, na may sakit siya. Bakit ka may sakit? Kasi nga, if you are really a spiritual person, you can heal yourself. You can be healthy. You will not abuse yourself. And then, yun na nga, yung isa naman ang kanya, he's very rich, pero nagkagulo-gulo pamilya. Nagkawatak-watak. And so, Would you say that person is spiritual, a spiritual person? Would you still consider that person as a successful person? And in fact, yun na, ang buhay niya eh talagang kwan. Dito lang sa Pilipinas nga na kwan eh, na, na ang presidente o isang tao na to be elected in a position, walang pakialaman when it comes to morality in terms of yung the way he lives his life, no? Ang tinitingnan kasi diyan is uh, yung kwan, yung uh, yung kaya lang niyang gawin, no? Pero sa US, napakahirap ka maging candidate. Ang scrutiny in terms of huhukayin talaga ang nakaraan mo bago ka nila i-nominate. Napakahirap. Okay, may message si Nellen. I am grateful for your presence. Keep doing what you are doing. God be with you. Okay. All right. Thank you, Nellen. All right. Akala ko you are talking about something. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate what you're saying. All right. So now, the thing here is, ito na nga eh, dito sa Pilipinas, wala silang pakialam. Hindi, ilang pamilya mo dyan, basta sikat ka, pwede ka iboto. Ha? Sa Amerika, o sa ibang countries, pag nakita nilang nagkaroon ka ng scandal, either sa Japan nga eh, papakamatay pa sila because of their shame. Ha? Tayo lang talaga. And we claim to be a religious people. Well, yan ang kailangan natin baguhin. That's why nga ang topic ko nga talaga, new reality instead. And our new reality, this is the way we have to perceive it. That we are really divine beings having a human experience. So basically, babalik rin na natin ngayon talaga lahat. We are spiritual people. We are divine beings having a human experience. Hindi na pwede sasabihin natin na ako'y tao lamang sapagkat ako'y tao lamang kaya ganito ako. Walang ganun. You have that superpower being a spiritual person, being one with God, being one with the source. We are actually like superheroes. We are human beings, but we also have that kind of power. Ito ang hindi nga na-realize ng karamihan eh. The God power within us. Ito yung palagi kong ine-emphasize eh. Ine-emphasize sa aking mga lectures, sa aking mga seminars. We have to tap that divine power in us because we are really divine beings eh. Bakit natin hindi nagagamit? Bakit natin sasabihin na I'm helpless? Bakit ako hopeless? Ako'y kawawa. Sino nagsabi ganun? Tapos sasabihin mo pa, ang Diyos, pinabayaan ako. Ay, bakit ganun? Sige. Ayan ang mga pag-iisip ng karamihan na ayaw maging responsible sa buhay nila. They want to blame other people for their misery. They want to blame other people for all their problems. Hindi pwedeng ganun. Ang tao ay basically a spiritual person at the same time a human being. So yan ang dapat na binibigyan natin ng halaga sa buhay natin ngayon. And that is what we are now expecting to happen in this new world that we are now creating. It might take long, it might not be easy to be able now to create this new world. That might take hindi naman a lot of years, baka a few years lang, according to the spirit guides and ETs that I had been listening to and I'm following in terms of what they had been saying. Sabi nila, it's there. The perfect world is happening. It's already out there for us, but we have to now change first ourselves. We have now to create first that kind of change before we can really enter. Sabi nga that kingdom of heaven on earth. Ang tawag dyan. So, kumbaga, nandito na ngayon yung sabi nga yung pearly gates. How are we going to enter that pearly gate? Through the kind of way of new thinking that we need to now change in us. The kind of new perception we have to now do. We have now to perceive things in a new way. Hindi na pwede yung dati. Wala na yung dating nakaraan na magpapakabait ka na lang pag malapit ka na mamatay. Dahil, yun na nga, ang hangad lang nila, eh, malayo pa naman ng panahon na yan. So, iba muna ang klaseng buhay gagawin ko. But the thing is, sabi nga ni Jesus noon, heaven is here on earth already, at hand. And we have to now acknowledge that it is already here. We have to now see ourselves living in the kingdom of heaven at this point in time. And tanong is, bakit hindi natin nakikita? Kasi nga, ayaw natin tignan. That's why nga, tinigil nga ang nangyayaring buhay natin. Ayan, nag-pandemic. Uh, just to be able now to be to remind us, hey, now is the time now to find out more about who you are. This is now this is now the time to reassess your life, to find out exactly why you're here, what you want to do. O bago, yes, of course, pwede ka namang bago anytime. There's no one thing that you have to do. Wala yung sasabihin mong destiny or purpose. Wala yun. We have to be able to just enjoy what we're doing. And then kung ayaw mo na, shift. You can shift to anything. You can change whatever you want to change at any point in time. And explain ko na sa inyo yung 11 elements of excitement. So basically, you can just redo everything and then find out again ang magandang mga bagay na pwede niyong pag-isipan para talagang magandang takbo ng gumandang takbo ng buhay natin, no? Kasi really, I mean, this is the time now to create this new world. I mean, we're just waiting now. If I say goodbye, Conix is watching and then see. All right. Okay, wala na iba. I cannot see sino yung mga pag ito ay tinanggal ko baka biglang mag-off yung Facebook Live ko. So with that, I'd like to say maraming salamat sa inyong lahat. Thank you. Thank you. At see you again on Friday. All right. So our next class. Thank you very much. Magandang kamalayan sa inyo.